Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith. Where in the hell have you been? Hey, I get texts, email, phone calls. Anyhow, I'm here. Why? Life. And I have this excess compulsive behavior on projects as well as anything else in life. And I'm been absorbed in that XCarve and creating the CNC controlling and getting Mach 4 set up and all the other things that go along with making that machine what I want it to be. I also had some jobs come into the shop and they're panic driven and they're really not video material, meaning I can't drag the camera along and do the project for the customer at the speed that is needed. I'm in here at Buffys Table here because one of the number one questions I get every time I give a video or a post on my Facebook, which are just short videos, they're not like full-size YouTube videos, but they are kind of blips of some of the things that I've been doing in the shop here, because they're down and dirty quick and I don't have to do any editing and anything else like that. When we left off in the fall, just before I went to the Cape Verde Islands with my best friend Vince there, we had finished putting together the motor, the paint and the polishing, and all that's complete on this. We received the main gear and the pinion for the back gear assembly, and we had painted the flange here that actually holds the shift lever for back gear, and we're really ready to start putting the components back together and then go out and finish taking off the head and the ram, and we want to go ahead and paint the main body, and that's kind of the progress that's where we're at now. While we have good weather and everything, that's the time period where I need to start getting into that. And this is set up here so that I can be assembling on this thing, and then I can tend to work when it comes in and leave it sit here. Let's hit a couple of highlights on a couple things that have been happening while I haven't been on YouTube. And one of them is, I'm just going to move this out of the way here. You remember the stainless steel rollers that I got from Rick Gearhart. He also just recently, within the last month, has sent me a small set of rollers, and I think this is like 280 thousandths on this. I can even go down lower than that on this set of rollers. So now I have my own design of rollers that he made me and sent to me in a mini version there, so I can even get the really small items. And that you can take my drawings that I have online and you can make these rollers any size you want, and the trunnion action and all of that still comes into play if you're not level, and so everything can still stay in line. And also here you have two different diameters on here, and yet it'll want to travel that way, but if I put the whatever the difference of this diameter is in here minus half of the a radius, you would get that to flow or not travel due to the weight. That's what it is. The weight's going downhill. So, but the trunnions are acting still flat on each of those items, and you can still get an indication on here. All right. These were made out of steel, and I'll still paint them up like my blue sets here. And my roller kits are available and on online on my website. So are the wiper kits and a few of the other things as well. So I want to thank Rick for that. It's a treasured gift for sure. Thank you very much. All right. Before we brought everything in here, and last year, Jim Leakey actually he sent us in the high-low detent plate and plunger, which is worn out, and I needed that. Brand new set of brake shoes. Some of the plastic bore liners and bushings, I have new ones already before he actually sent this kit in for me. There's a worm gear. I really haven't located that yet either. It may be actually in the feed mechanism, and there's an assortment of other things in there. I want to thank you very much, Jim, for that. I have all the brand new bearings to go ahead and put Buffy back together. I also have boxes of goodies. There's the new belts, and there's a new spring pack kit there for the handle. When I get into the rest of the body, if there's any cavities that need new wicks, I'll put those in there. I got the new dial face. I got a lot of neat things to go ahead and dress this thing on up and make it look like brand new, besides the buffing. Alright, now it's been a long time since we pulled this thing apart, and we're getting ready, and we're going to be putting the main spindle together. And the main spindle is held with a pair of bearings down here with an inner and outer sleeve. Alright, and that holds the cluster in a loaded, preloaded situation, so that you don't have any vertical play in there. And you need to put the opposing thrust sides in the right position so that they work. And if you put the two bearings together with the thrust going in the right direction, you can rotate one bearing and the other bearing is going to rotate along with it. If you had them backwards and they weren't pushing on the thrust sides, you would rotate the one bearing and the other outer bearing will not follow, because there's no contact in there. There's no friction because the load is not on that side of the bearing. So that'll automatically tell you how it's loaded. And I'm holding the inside bearings because that's how you would be holding the inside on the shaft is connected to the inner bearings, and the housing is connected to the outer bearings. And that's the direction it goes on. Alright, so we'd be grabbing our new bearings here, which Timken, I believe, merged with Fenner, and that's in the Timken box, and Fenner is written on the seal. Now these bearings are sealed bearings, and I'm asking myself how often I actually step up to that mill, and how often do I give the oiler tended to oil the spindle bearings oil. Ask yourself that. Are you religious? Do you do that absolutely every single time before you run that mill? I'm going to go ahead and insert a pair of bearings with the seals on. The upper bearing has got a shield, which is not, it's not sealed. Water or moisture or whatever can still travel through a shield. And I'm going to let the oil go into the shielded area, but it's not going to continue on down and get to this lower section here, because these are going to have the rubber lip seals on here. The relationship you want with your mill and how long it lasts is just about like the girlfriend. The more you pay attention to it, the longer it lasts. Alright, well, with the sealed bearings in there, there's going to be a lot of non-maintenance needed aspect to the bearings. But how long do those bearings actually last when they're sealed? We'll find out. You know, if I live long enough to finish the test, we'll see. All right, so and that's what I'm doing here is on these bearings here. Let me get the other one out of here. All right, these actually have a little notation in here, and there's a little tiny star on here on the loaded side, the thrust side, and you hold them together and they rotate. And if you went to the other side, it doesn't rotate. Okay, so So I'll be putting them in like that. This spacer will go here, and this spacer will go out here like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these back in the box here, because I have a couple other things that I want to do to the shaft, like spin it in the lathe and probably the Rutland there, and go ahead and polish up this outside snout and take a little bit of the burr off of where somebody has actually lightly crashed or rubbed the nose of the spindle there. I might take a little bit of Scotch-Brite and polish up the bore a little bit for the R8 collet. I'm not gonna address any issue on the bore and its run out until I actually put this thing together. In the mill and actually see if there is a problem with the bore, instead of just calling it a problem and creating a job needlessly. Alright, so right now let's go ahead and set this off to the side, because I have a few other things to show you, but we will be back on Buffy here soon. Okay, here's another share. Tim Turner from Hound Dog Machining sent this in, and he says, Keith, one day my wife declared that I needed a hobby, so I got hooked on your YouTube videos and decided to get an old lathe. Then I found A-Bomb's Adams channel and Tupacane's channel and Practical Machinist and Bit Spotter, and went to Richard King's scraping class, and things made sort of got a little out of hand. And then my friend Craze Dave suggested that I get a CNC mill, and I started making parts, and then the very next day the bottom fell out of the oil industry here in Houston. And then one day I just finally had enough of being able to see what I was doing on my K&T 2D. After coming up with empty searching for a ring light, decided to design my own. And the Craze Dave said I should modify the design to fit his Bridgeport, so I did, and he said it was good and that I should make more of them. And since I gave him one, you and A-Bomb and Mr. Peterson are just as much to blame for me getting mixed up in all this machining nonsense in the first place. I figured that should send each of you three gentlemen a light too, as thanks for getting me started down the road. I've included two different light designs, my original J-head Pacific design that has so far fit all the J-heads except the clones I've tried it on. There is also one that one of what I call universal style that can be adjusted to fit heads casings up to 4.99 diameter. You already have great lighting to make your videos, so maybe this light won't be of any use to you, but it has made a huge difference for me in being able to see what I'm doing. If either one is of any help to you, then great. Otherwise, if you think they'd be helpful for anybody else, I'd be honored to have one or both included in What's in Your Box giveaway this year. Thank you again for your videos, Tim Turner. Thank you very much, Tim. And I open up one, and I'll put the other one down here out of the way. And I think this is just the power supply and a couple Velcro magnetic clips there for leads, which is great. And it's got a little instruction here, even with a couple figures. Very nice. Little tiny spotlight in there as well, and wiring going in here, and the LED rings all in there, and this is got his little logo over here. And I actually have that pin that fits right up in there. That's excellent. Little lock on there. Plug in the charger, on off switch. Excellent. Okay, I know I'm only going to need one of these lights, and I'd be glad to outfit Buffy with one, and the other one, of course, I don't have the What's in Your Box Toolbox giveaway going on anymore, but I still love the community and helping out the community, and I have many more tools and items that, through my videos and comments that I receive from those videos, and pick and choose randomly those comments, and I will be giving away the other light and other accessories and stuff like that that I've been trying to lighten my load here in the shop. And so I really appreciate it. I'm sorry, I mean, you sent this on the fifth month, somewhere around in there, and this is just another one of those things. It's not just my videos that's taking a hit on getting around to it. Because the round to-its that I'm hitting now are actually round to-its that have been put off from my foot surgery in the past. So kind of what the shortcut of the whole explanation is here. So that's really cool. I can't wait to get Buffy that far along to where I can start thinking about putting the light on. Oh, dropped a couple of these out of here. All right. I think that was right in the middle. That's excellent. So I'll open up the other one there too, just to see what the difference is and which one fits up on that Tim. Alrighty, excellent. All right, for some time now, I've been friends and in communication with Andre von Cohen, and just let's see what month was it that I received this. We've been working on it for nearly 3 or 4 months, but 4/6/2018 I received this little package, and I open it up, and this is going to be a controller. There's a battery pack. He's included a switch, and I have a port here that I have to put for the USB plug. I've had to invest a little bit of product here. This is a USB port cable that will run into this transmitter here, which is a Bluetooth transmitter, which will transmit to my Surface Pro, and what signal it's going to be giving. Of course, like I said, I had to invest in a few things here, and these Mitutoyo digital indicators, they don't give these away. But what he proposed to do, and this is the prototype, but we'll have this set up, and on the base of this indicator will be the transmitter, and this can be inside a bore in an enclosure, and I'll be able to see it on my Surface Pro sitting on or near the machine that I'm indicating, and I'll be able to adjust my machine, and this will also give us the average of highs and lows out around and all of that. And the inspiration for this was setting up and boring my cylindricals there in the lathe, and this will allow to have the indicator very short mounted there and not have to stick your head up into the bore. This project here is very interesting, and I really want to get into this, but this came in an order, and it is trumped by other projects still, but this project is not forgotten, and Andre's went through a lot of effort here, and I've made an investment, so this needs to come together, but not everything can just happen, you know, when it happens, it happens, I should say. All right. So I just wanted to share that we actually have that, and also Andre's creativity in this, and of course we have a connection here. You got the little brain in there, and it's really kind of interesting. And I'll take a couple little photographs of that so you can see into there. And this will be coming along in the progress of this project and setting this all up. I'll be bringing you along on the trip. All right, I want to add in another little share here of my progress or progressing along on plasma cutting. And of course, I'm creating an avenue of generating new products or new items that I can sell, and produce something that somebody may want. Anyway, I started with the idea of the mermaid mud flaps and mermaid window designs for accenting vehicles, boats, toolboxes, whatever you want. I have a couple different designs, and I also incorporated my stud welder with the 1032 studs that get welded onto the back of the mermaid, and I have a few pictures of that process. And also I just picked up a new truck, so I've got rid of my Dodge Dakota and picked up a Toyota Tacoma used. I like the fact of not having a car payment. So there was some pluses on the vehicle, and it's doing what I need. It's giving me what I'm going to ask out of a small pickup truck. So anyway, these few items that I have right here they're stainless steel. Everything is grade 316 stainless steel in the finished products. And this is in the light sanded finish here, but it's already been plasma cut out and then just lightly dressed and then sanded, and it's getting ready to go in for the buff finish. The buff finish comes out and gives you a mirror-like look to the figurine. And I have this pose in two different directions, so it'd be mirror image, and I also have the flap image, and they of course would be angled out each way for the mud flaps. These can be sized for whatever size mud flap, and you can get me with the dimensions on those. Another thing that I started and I offered, and that is taking your personal vessel and creating a replica in the stainless. Now this is a test piece right here, and this is out of the regular steel, and it's just sanded. And I do this until I get it right, and then I cut it out of stainless steel, because the stainless steel is it's coming out to about 20 bucks, or a little bit over 20 bucks a square foot on the grade 316 with a nice finish on it. So this is a Viking here, and I happen to have a polished one on the back of my truck, my new tailgate. The tailgate's black right now, but I plan on painting it to incorporate the figurines that I'm going to be putting on the back of it. My first volunteer, my best friend Vince, and this is the Temperance 35-foot Duffy, and it's outfitted, ready for sport. And we got all the 130s out here on the deck, the Bomar box, and the green sticks in here, the outriggers. We got another spinning rod up here, and we have a life raft up here, RDF antenna, the radar, and one of the forward antennas there, and then his engraved name right on the bow, just as seen in real life. Now this is a steel cutout as well, but just the other day I finished his stainless one. came out pretty nice, pretty happy with it. Now I'm gonna also do his vessel on another figuration because he runs his boat several different ways. This happens to be in the sport mode, but he also has a tower for it, and he also has a pulpit on it. And a lot of the down east guys are going to want that configuration done, and I want to offer whatever you would like your boat done in. I'll be able to draw it, cut it, polish it, and give you a placard like this. This is a new service that I'm going to be offering here at Turn Right Machine Works. Alright, I brought you in just to give a quick once over on the XCarve and where I'm at, and basically I'm just trying to communicate the ESS with the Mach 4 program and lining up all the in and out pins, and I'm having a little issue with it just because the Mach 4 has been updated and since the initial instructions are, so there's a little bit of learning curve on getting it set up for me. You know, there's other people that are probably like slam, but I'm having a little issue with it, but it's not going to stop me. We'll just keep on going. 2 stickers came in in the last couple weeks. Herb Blair, I just trimmed your white off around the edge there, Herb, and I want to put it on just like that. Steve Summers, thank you very much. He gave me a couple extras there. I'll be able to put one in on the other site as well. I don't know if I have one of Herb's in at the other area there, but I might. I sent each of them back stickers, but I also included a T-nut slot scraper. Hope you guys enjoy them. Thank you very much. All right, and I think see how we can peel this off of here real easy, and we'll throw this on there real quick. Okay, easy peel on the back there. All right, and there you go. Got a spot right below Randy Richards and Ray's Garage and Herb. Easy peel also, very nice. And I'm gonna stick you right there, right next to Ray. There we go. Let me see. I might not have that quite level from the angle on that. Well, I did pretty good, but let's tweak it just a little bit here. There we go. Thank you guys very much. Okay, I got you zoomed into the screen right now. We'll take a look back at the back here in a moment. This is just the wiper, the Rutland wipers program that I had, and I put it in here so that I have something on the screen to look at, and I can tilt it around, and I can do all of that stuff as well. So the toolpath is in there, but I can also watch myself over here, and I can jog it around as soon as I hit enable. Then I can jog it around. But it's not, I'm not moving anything yet, so I need to, and I'm also not measuring or sensing my limit switches here. So I've got just a little bit of pin alignment that I'm working on right now, and then I'll get it. The main things is I actually have e-stop is actually disengaging and engaging, and it's doing its thing, and I can reinitiate it, and it actually tells me down here e-stop is cleared, e-stop condition. Alright, so I'm making good headway here, and I'm getting close, and pretty soon I should be able to have this thing up to actually show you a demonstration on it, and where I'm going with it. I have the air system to still put on it, a solenoid and a regulator, and then go ahead and then do the programming that I need to do to be able to control the laser as well. Alright, let's head around the back side here. Alright, and in the first cabinet here is the ESS, and it's port cables are all plugged in. The C10 is over here, and we have power to it, and we don't have nothing running off of it yet, but it is mounted so that we will be able to run off of it. Plus we can do some oscilloscope testing on that as well, on the system when we want to. All right, and the Ethernet cable comes in there and into the ESS, and the power cords, it's kind of not much in this cabinet at all. And over here is the plate that we made up, and if we shut off the pump, the coolant line goes off, and the coolant the coolant sensor switch right here tells it the coolant's not running, and it automatically senses and kicks the e-stop. Alright, and our IoT relays are mounted there, ground fault mounted there. We went ahead and added in a ground on our fan next to our pump so that we can run the ground fault off of that as well, so that that's all tied in. So if we have a leak, a splash, and a short, we're no worries. Alright, and the coolant line's coming in, and I'm getting enough flow now. This is the air line that will be coming in, and we'll be plumbing into that, and that's running over there. All of the electrical is run into it, and all the access and switches all come into a squeeze bar that we have, and we'll put a piece of felt in here and close this up when we're 100%, and we'll put this cover on the VFD when we're all 100% there. We have, when you turn that on, it goes to flow, and the e-stop is disengaged. Okay, and then to kill power, we shut off the whole disconnect there, and we have the power. And of course, you hear the computer. It has lost connection with the ESS, so it is give us the little warning there. We didn't include a quick connect for the door, which would have been a good idea if we had to pull that off of there, but you know, we're learning. This is our very first panel wire job, and we have some zip ties and stuff that we haven't cinched down, and we're not 100% in here, but it is 100% wired up to what we have connected and ready to rock and roll. Alright, and then of course when you do turn on the power, and we're doing this only for the visual, so that you can see the lights kick on each and every one of them. And of course, right now we're in the e-stop position, so the axis outputs there are given the red flashing, and as soon as we kick on our pump, those stop, and it's all good to go. Oh, where I'm at is just a little minor pin alignment on the programming, and we should be ready to go. But that's a look at what I've been involved with for the last month. Now I went ahead and purposely put in the screw bolts, and we'll bolt this in here when we're 100%, and then we have disconnects here, and we can put a padlock in those when need be. Of course, this is my own machine, but we're trying to hold up to at least some kind of standards that are acceptable. Secondary e-stop is back here, and just showing you the wire configuration. I ran two separate chains for the cable, and the coolant going up, and I still have one grounding wire that I got to run through and ground each section of the frame. And the docking station came out real nice for the laser, op lasers. That'll pull off. and we'll be able to snap right on the laser. The main reason why we are interested in a laser and we kept going with our build and use of it is one is making gaskets. I think there's a great importance on being able to cut out a precision gasket for marine or auto trade here on the Cape, with as many old buffs that tear apart things on the weekends and they can't get gaskets for them anymore or in time for them to play with it. And we should be able to scan their gasket and cut one out for them as needed. It's kind of the plan. Alright, thanks for stopping in and checking in on me. We're not done yet. We got a long ways to go. But it doesn't hurt to start thinking about somebody coming in here and buying our playground on Route 28, Cape Cod. Alright, I think that's it. Till next time, get her done.